I am really excited about this one as we go through some of the Texans offseason acquisitions, but Pheldarius Payne, rookie free agent defensive lineman. I'm not going to say tackle just yet, but there are so many questions about this kid. I'm going to lay out the saga that has been his career after we watch some of these highlights from last year, and you're going to get excited. You're going to get really excited when you watch these highlights. And you say, Seth, why was this guy not drafted in a higher round, if not at all? There's stories here. And I like this kid a lot. You're going to like him, but there's questions. And keep in mind when you watch these highlights that he's coming off a 2022 Achilles tendon tear. So that old surgery that used to take 18 months to recover from, and then even then you weren't quite right. This is post Achilles tendon tear. Pheldarius Payne lined up at right defensive tackle, and just don't blink, okay? There's going to be a lot of onomatopoeia in this one. This kid's so blazingly fast. Right defensive tackle. Just, let's watch that again real quick. Sets him up to the right, clubs across to the left, and it was like he's running a 40-yard dash. Left defensive tackle. Just off the ball. Oh, this is the part here. So watch the triple extension on this hit. Boom. That's textbook. Legal hit, keeps his feet, takes out one of his own guys at the end there. Right defensive tackle, just through the line like there's nobody there at all. His highlights, like half of these are Jadeveon Clowney versus Michigan style. Uses hands in these highlights. You're going to see him use his hands really effectively. That's one of the marks against him, is he's not quite all that gifted at using his hands consistently. A young Ed Oliver was once that way. Ignore the Barber brother to your left here. This is Pheldarius at right defensive tackle. I mean, when he's got an opening, like wide splits are his friends because it's just a runway for him. Slants to his right. And he does use it, like there are examples of him using his hands really effectively. This one more of a swarm mindset, tenacity, tenaciousness. Every T word that's good. Right defensive tackle. Like so many TFLs. Last year he had 10 tackles for a loss, 31 total tackles, a forced fumble, a pass defense, and 4 sacks. So he lives in the backfield. This one, he's just a hand grenade in the backfield. You might be wondering there, well, why did he tackle the quarterback? Wasn't that a running play? Well, supposedly, but he just screwed up that poor Tulane offensive coordinator, ruined his whole day. So I don't know if you could pick up from those or not, but you might have been asking like, hey, Seth, I don't work at a carnival. I don't analyze body weight for a living, but like, how big is he? Nobody really knows. He's played from a range of 250 up to a listed 285. I'm skeptical of that 285. I don't want to be accused of bashing him or anything. This is just a known question about what his ideal playing weight is. Here's Pheldarius Payne.
I'm probably not the strongest person, but my speed and quickness in the tight, short areas helps a lot.
Yes, it does help a lot. We saw it firsthand. We've got evidence on film. But this is where the saga comes in, because he started off at Lakawanna Junior College, goes to Nebraska during the COVID season, plays at Nebraska where they moved him to outside linebacker. He'll explain a little bit about that in a second. And has played basically defensive end, outside linebacker, and defensive tackle in his career. Defensive tackle seems to be the spot where he thrived the most. But given his body weight concerns and issues, you might wonder, okay, is defensive end a better position for him? First, here's Pheldarius Payne talking about that transition to outside linebacker at Nebraska. This is an interview from 2021. And then I'll show you some film of him playing out on the edge.
First, when I came in, I had a shoulder surgery. So as soon as I came in, I rehabbed for about 2 months, and I had to hurry up and just like lift weights and bench. And I was benching like, I don't think 135. I was benching like 25 on each side. So it was just like, and then I got COVID, so I had to sit out and I lost weight, and I moved to linebacker, and I had to like learn the whole new system because I never played like outside linebacker. But after that, it was fine.
So what was it like learning to be the first time you played in the Big Ten, obviously, and then also learning a new position? How did you think it was?
I don't think I did like good, but it was better than expected. Because the speed level was the same between here and JUCO, but the strength you could definitely tell. Like if you get your hand on a lineman or a tackle or a guard from Minnesota or Illinois, they had a different strength.
I like the humility there. I like that he was very honest about how he played in his first year as outside linebacker. He would go on to talk about how much he learned about scheme and having to play outside linebacker for the first time in his career. But you can see right there, going back to 2020 through now, he's had to deal with shoulder injury, an Achilles tendon tear. He's a COVID survivor. But I know what you're thinking. It was the same thing I thought. All right, if this guy's played from a range of 250 potentially up to 285, is his best position defensive end? I'm not so sure. I think defensive tackle as a project that needs to put on some quality body weight over the next year or two or three might be the best spot for him. Here's some film of him playing on the edge at Nebraska. So this is from 2021 at Nebraska. It would be his second year playing outside, and obviously here as a pass rusher on the edge. And these are not all highlights. It's just a bunch of snaps from the Illinois game. And if I run this back a little bit, I just want you to see, you can see the straight ahead speed. He's one of the first guys across the line of scrimmage. But when it comes to really getting bend or using his hands to create separation at the top, I didn't really see a whole lot of promise. One of the reasons I chose this game was because he had 2 sacks in this game. And you can see, again, the speed. But right there, the QB, that's the time where you need to be bending your ass in because the QB's stepping up in the pocket. But he overruns the quarterback. Ends up getting a sack here because he's hustling. His teammates help him out, flush the quarterback to him. Down here at the end, it's going to be a similar type of sack. You can see the speed. He's working his hands there, but he's not gaining meaningful ground on the quarterback, and he's not bending the rush, but he still does get a sack. Swarm! Right defensive end / outside linebacker. You know, the offensive tackle is never stressed there. And then a couple plays here at the end, just because I saw some evidence of this, and it's in the scouting report that I read by Lance, that there's times where he loses his feet, gets out over his feet a little too much. And I saw some evidence of that on the inside too. So that's not an exhaustive look at him as an edge rusher, but I think with some of the ability to bend, with some of the lateral mobility, he's not as good as when he's just firing off the ball and wreaking havoc. So ultimately, I think his athleticism, even though he's blisteringly fast and twitchy, might be more that's something more suited to the inside. But as Pheldarius himself has said, he's not as strong as a lot of these other guys. And I think for a rookie, undrafted free agent, I think the Texans probably see a lot of upside potential in A, working on his movement skills, and then B, and maybe more importantly, this is just old school. Hey, got to get in an NFL weight room with your NFL money and be able to eat properly and see how much mass you can put on. He's not a huge frame guy, but I could see him carrying 285, 290 pretty healthily, and maybe being a guy that provides some pass rush and some push on the inside. And then who knows after that? Guys are still maturing and developing at this age. One thing you will not lack for is family support.
So my family, they always travel to games. Like, even when I was in JUCO, it was probably like 50 people in the stands, and there was probably like 16 of them. So with me being closer, it's like, I don't know, I'll be trying to get like 30 tickets a game because they come regardless. Like ODU, I had a problem every game, I'm not going to lie, except for like the away games. Even Rutgers, a few of my family flew up there. My auntie, my uncle, they're a traveling group. So me being closer helps a lot, but it get a little hectic sometimes getting all those tickets.
The struggle is real, man. Getting tickets for families sometimes can be it's a scramble. You got to devote time on a Friday or during the week to take care of that stuff. So it checks the boxes off in terms of family. The big questions, look at that. Give me a little thumbs up. Look, he has something. There is something there. Aside from just his athleticism, a knack for making football plays. The question as to whether he can play on the outside or the inside, I think that's a work in progress, and they're probably going to give him opportunities all along the defensive line. But more than anything, how much weight can he hold, and is it sustainable through a long season? I wouldn't be surprised if he's a guy that's on the practice squad in the first year, and maybe hangs around and they get a feel for it. He'll get some opportunities along the way, but definitely something here. I like that this is a guy that people thought might go mid-round or late round. The Texans probably had their eye on him for a while, but he also, in a bunch of his interviews, he comes across as a really good earnest and thoughtful young kid who's going to work and do all those things that they expect out of these guys. So Pheldarius Payne, no relation to Seth Payne that I know of. And if any of his family members are hoping for favors for tickets or something, I've burned all those bridges and connections long ago. So the name will not help you. Does he become the greatest Payne who ever played for the Texans? Possibly. And I would savor that. That would be nice to watch because I'm pulling for this kid. Might be in the category of players whom I adopt during this preseason. So we'll see where Pheldarius takes us. I'm Seth Payne, played for the Texans for 10 years. I have this YouTube channel. I do sports radio on Sports Radio 610 every weekday morning. Please like, subscribe, share on Facebook or Twitch or wherever else you share these things. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.